Hi everybody! So the book that I chose to do for a non-fiction read is What Would You Do with a Tale Like This by Steve Jenkins, and the illustrations were by Robin Page. So this book I actually included in my critical assignment. I said that you should choose to read this book to a 3rd grade class. Now I think you can kind of get away with like maybe 1st or 2nd grade, but I do think that 3rd graders would be able to kind of like get more information out of this book because there is kind of a lot of information presented about animals and how they use different parts of their bodies. So I'm going to begin with my evaluation of the book. I'm looking at the evaluation criteria on page 283 in our textbooks. So the first element is organization. I thought the organization of this book was fantastic. I don't have the hard copy with me right now, but one of the first pages, it kind of explains that, okay readers, we are going to be learning how different animals use their, oh, sorry, my phone popped up, it said 20% left, okay. It said how we're going to be learning how different animals use their noses, their ears, their tails, their mouths, and their feet. So I know the book is titled What Would You Do with a Tale Like This, and it may seem like all we're really reading about is maybe tails, but there's so much more involved in this book, and I loved how it mentioned that on the first page because it kind of gives students an overall idea of what topics are exactly going to be in this book. So also in referring to what's going to be talked about in this book, it also asks the questions, what does each part, or like what does each part of this body like belong to, and how can it be used? So mainly focusing on how it could be used. Like, yes, monkeys have tails, but what are they used for? They're used for climbing and swinging because they're mostly in the jungles and stuff, so they need their tails to provide that service for them in order for them to survive. So I thought the overall organization was great once it kind of brings all these topics, you know, to us, like noses, ears, tails, mouths, and feet. It begins with noses, and then it just focuses on noses. It kind of like says, what would you do with a nose like this? And there's like 5 or 6 different animal noses all around the question, and some students might be able to infer what nose, oh, like that's a pig's nose, oh, that's a giraffe's nose, oh, that's a cow's nose. And then once you flip the page, it gives like a whole visual of each animal with descriptions of what do they use their noses for. So, and then once the nose section is done, then it goes on to the ears. So it's organized in a very like helpful manner. It's not confusing at all. So the second element is style. So let's see. Oh, so I loved the style of this book because I really felt like the author kind of like included style and did the styling of the book in a way where like it really included the students. So like students can be participating in all aspects of this book, which I think is wonderful because as teachers, you're always trying to ask questions before, during, and after the reading to kind of aid student comprehension and their understanding. So I think it's really cool because it always asks students, what would you do with a tail like this? What would you do with a nose like this? What would you do with feet like this? So students, for one, can identify like the little visuals of like the animal's nose or tails and like kind of like guess or infer what animal that belongs to, and also like they can answer the question, well, what would you do with a nose like this? So I think that's really cool how it kind of gets all students involved, and it like in a way it kind of reminds me of Dora, where it's like always asking you questions and then like you're able to answer the question, and then like the book is able to provide like factual information, like, yeah, you were right, and also this is like additional information of what this is used for by that animal. So I thought the style was really good. Let's see. Design and illustrations. So I definitely think the designs and illustrations act to aid and support the content. I think that the visuals and like the sentences, words, descriptions go hand in hand. I think if there wasn't one or the other, the book would not have the same weight or like meaning. I think that if you just had the words and descriptions, like students wouldn't be able to picture like all of the animals' features, like or body parts like noses and mouths and stuff. So having those visuals help aid the descriptions, and having the descriptions help aid the visuals. So it goes hand in hand, and if you guys, if the author didn't include both, it just wouldn't have the same effect. So definitely I think that the visuals help support the content that is being described. I do think the illustrations help solidify the reader's understanding of the topic. It kind of goes back to what I just said with, I think the visuals and the descriptions, words or sentences go hand in hand. Information is given by like sentences and by pictures, so I think that's really awesome. So with the accuracy of this book, I took it upon myself to research the author and everything, Steve Jenkins, and he definitely has enough like background in this field in order to be writing about it. So for years he was a scientist, he was a physics professor, he has his master's degree in science, he did a lot of things with like astrology, and he was just kind of like into that field for a long time. And then when he met his wife was already an author and illustrator, and they actually wrote 16 children's books together so far. So I think between Steve Jenkins and his wife Robin Page, I think they're a dynamic duo and they work super well together, and I think that they're more than certified in order to be teaching and writing books about these topics. Let's see what else. I think that might be it. So, do you agree that the book? So I do agree that this book, excuse me, is a great example of nonfiction. So I honestly think that when it comes to the evaluation, it's like a 10 out of 10, to be completely honest. I would totally recommend this book for like another teacher or even a parent. I think it's a good read. I think students can get a real kick out of it, and they can like learn a lot of information. Maybe some already that they knew, maybe some that they didn't know. So it kind of goes into pre-existing knowledge and learning new information. So it kind of adds to that prior knowledge, and they're really able to get a lot of information from this book. So I think it's amazing. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this video. And again, this video was all about what would you do with a tale like this by Steve Jenkins. So thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to watch your guys' other videos. Bye.